so amazing, and it kind of just paved the way for things like Buffy and Angel and even Supernatural. So like, what did it feel, or what does it feel like that, that started in the 90s? I know you were acting before then, but to be like a part of this genre that has continued on and like taken it on a world of its own, like to create cons and stuff like that.
I can't tell you how grateful I am to have been a part of something like that, and I tell Chris that all the time. And I tell him, I'll text him or call him and say, dude, I'm like meeting 10-year-olds that are binge watching the show. 30 years later. Was it 30 years?
Yeah, they're actually 30,
yeah. So, the fact that it is, and you watch it, and it holds up. It's still a really good show. So that says a lot about what they were doing as the writing teams and the producers, and it really is it's pretty amazing. And I fell into the honey pot when I walked in the room and met Chris Carter. So I got lucky. I walked into a room and met Wes Craven, and then I walked into a room and met Chris Carter. And those were two big days in my career. So I have nothing but gratitude and love for that experience. You bet. Okay, so working with the cast of Supergirl, I did about four episodes, maybe 3 or 4. I don't know. Thank you very much. It was, I kind of just. Well, first of all, I had to wear that goofy outfit in the first couple of episodes. So I don't know, what was I, Rama, I don't know. I felt like a soup. But it was, they were all really nice. They were all really, really nice. And I had worked with Julie Gonzalez on Dallas, so I got to hang out with her a little bit and see her again. So it was fun. And plus, it was in Vancouver, and I love the show in Vancouver. Thank you.
Hi, Mitch.
Hi.
I was just wondering if you have to tell like your most interesting or funny memory, maybe with David or Jillian, or experiences.
Experience with David and Jillian?
Yeah, David Duchovny and.
Oh, David Duchovny. Oh.
Oh yeah.
We had a lot of laughs. We always had fun. Sometimes it wasn't fun, but for the most part, it was David's extremely funny. Jillian, when she starts giggling and laughing, it's all over. So and there was a lot of that. So we had a lot of good times. It was yeah, and they were, once again, when they started doing the show, they were both very, very young actors, and just getting going, and then they just got hit by everything. So it was interesting to watch them traverse through that, and obviously they've done well. Jillian's doing great, and David's doing good. How many books has he published? And he's singing, he's writing, he's doing all kinds of stuff. So, but it was X-Files was a huge part of my life. So I'm very grateful to them for it. You bet. Hi.
Hey, Mitch, how you doing? Good. So first off, I love the show. What's always appealing about the show was, definitely from a guy's standpoint, living on the road with your buddies, and besides fighting monsters and such, but being able to eat whatever you want, drink whatever you want, and nothing will happen to you. So that's always a great thing about the show. But wanted to know, was there like a signature drink on set that came out in celebration, or if you knew that, oh, they're busting this out, it's going to be one of those nights? Was there anything like that on set that...
I'm sorry, on Supernatural?
Yes, let's say Supernatural.
No.
Nothing like that.
No, not really. I I don't drink, so I wouldn't have been.
Or for the young server.
What's that?
Well, like the cast and crew, they put something in, like, oh, it's gonna be one of these type of
Yeah,
things.
you don't know, not really. And I wasn't, I mean, I didn't do that many episodes of Supernatural, so I did like 8, something like that. And, you know, so it's not like I was there all the time. So I don't know what, there may have been other times when all that stuff happened, but not when I was there, so. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
You bet. Hi.
Hi, I'm Alice. I have also been a fan of yours since ABA Skinner days, but unlike most of the people here, I was already a grown-up working nerd. And when the X-Files was on, when all my friends were swooning over David Duchovny, I was like, but ABA Skinner, hear me out. So
Bless you.
my question is...
There you are, I finally found you.
My question is, one of the important pieces of DNA that both the X-Files and Supernatural share is Kim Manners.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any good Kim Manners stories?
I do, but I can't tell them. I got some real good ones. No, it was, you know, I mean, Kim's the reason, you know, Kripke and Kim were the reason that I ended up doing the show. So I worked with Kripke on another show. I'm not going to say which one. Anyway, so they were the reason I came and did it. And I you know, working with Kim on, because he directed probably most of the episodes on the X-Files. And he had an energy that was just, I mean, you know, kick it in the ass was right before every scene, it was kick it in the ass. All right, let's kick it in the ass. And, you know, and we would, you know, because he was there driving us. This little guy was a little guy too. And he just, boy, he was so full of energy and so full of life. And then when I went to Supernatural and he was there, it was shortly before he passed, and I saw the difference between the dynamo that he was and where, you know, and it just crushed my soul to know that he was right, you know, because he was such an amazing individual. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you the stories that I did tell you.
That's still great. Thank you very much.
All right, Marilyn, thank you. Hi.
Hi, Sherry from Pennsylvania. Two things. How much of Supernatural have you watched? And then I'm wondering if you happen to know any Gordon Lightfoot songs?
Did I set you up for that? I guess I did. No, I was talking. I had presented a song called "Sundown" by Gordon Lightfoot to the guys, and I was thinking about maybe doing that. But we didn't. So anyway, I'm sorry. What was the first?
Oh, so I was saying, well, you wouldn't want to play a little bit of Sundown, would you? But how much of Supernatural?
Oh, you know, yeah. I started once I got casted because I hadn't watched it when they cast me, and then I was like, well, I guess I better take a look at it. And I started watching it, and I was like, damn, this is good. Why haven't I been watching this? You know, so so I kept watching it, and my wife had been watching it. My daughter was a huge fan. So yeah, so I can't tell you how many episodes I've watched. But yeah, and there's a lot of episodes in the later years that I haven't watched because I was busy working, I guess. But yeah.
Well, you got me really wanting to hear a little bit of Sundown. Do you think you could give us a little bit?
You know, I don't right now.
No? Okay.
Yeah, but maybe at some point. Yeah. I don't want to keep bugging you guys about music shit.
Hi, Mitch.
Thank you.
Hi, Mitch. I'm Amy. How are you?
Good, thank you.
So first I want to say is that my dad let me watch X-Files when I was like 10 or 11 years old. So I was allowed to watch as a young child, and it was like something we bonded over. So
How you doing now?
Sorry.
How you doing now? You made it through all?
I made it through, yeah.
Okay. I didn't let my daughter start watching it until she was 13.
Didn't have too many nightmares. My question was, I've been very fortunate to go to Austin a few times, and obviously you're working there now in Walker. I want to know what some of your favorite things about Austin are.
I just love the feel. I started acting in Austin back in the early '80s, and I went to school at UT in the '70s. So I have some history in Austin. So I've always loved going back and, you know, spending time in Austin. And then when Jared called and said, you know, you want to play my dad? I was like, well, yeah. You know, and I said, where are we playing? He goes, well, in Austin. I go, well, okay, I'll see you there. So, I'm really, you know, I know it's hot, it's humid, and we've been having the freezes. I've got probably 60 oak trees on my property down there, and I lost a lot of them because of the freeze. There's a lot of branches. I mean, I spent a lot of money having branches hauled away, but I just love where I'm at. My wife and daughter are with me. They love it there. They love our house. They love you know, just everything about where we're at. And she's making friends. I mean, she actually hangs out with Robin Brinson, Violet Brinson's mom a lot. So which I love, you know, and also Chantel Pierre, Jeff Pierre's wife. So that just speaks to the, you know, the family aspect of how we've all grown to love each other. You know. But I just like the people. It's just people are really nice. People are just really nice, you know, and so I like that. That's the biggest part. People get nice.
Thank you.
You bet. Hi.
Hey. Okay. I have a question, but I just want to tell you a very quick thing. When I was a kid, my parents took me to Washington, D.C. on vacation, and everybody comes back, oh, the Smithsonian, blah, 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 blah. I was blown away by the tour, they probably don't have them anymore, of the FBI building. And I went to the tour guide and I said, when I grow up, I want to be an FBI agent. And he said, we don't have female FBI agents. So.
When was this?
This, I guess it was in the early 60s.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm around your age. So anyway, when the X-Files came out, I was just like, yay, finally we're in. But fast forward, that's why I wanted to share. Fast forward, when we finally got to the episode where we, the audience, the watchers of Supernatural, found out that what happened with the demon and Mary and and when Mary had made the 10-year deal, and you become obsessed, you become possessed by a demon for a while, and that whole episode, watching it was like, oh my God, that's what happened? So I want to know, when you first read that script, did you have an, oh my God, that's what happened moment also?
With Samuel and the
Yes.
turning into the demon, the yellow-eyed demon,
And I'm assuming you
snapping his wife's neck.
Yeah, that whole thing.
This is what I don't get about Samuel. I mean, snapping your wife's neck.
Did you know beforehand how this whole thing started, or did you?
Well, that was the first episode that I did, so yeah, I mean, and the fact that Dean was going back in time, and he meets his, you know, his mom and his dad and his grandparents on the Campbell soup side. So I don't know if I had any expectations or any, you know, as far as, I will tell you that I had so much fun turning into the yellow-eyed demon. It was a hoot. And then I got to go sniff Jensen all up. Albeit I had so much fun with it. He was like, I'm like. What is it? My goodness, he's a good looking boy. He is, isn't he? They both are.
So that's how, okay, so when we found out what was really, how this whole thing started, and you were an integral part of that because of that episode, I mean, I just want to know how you reacted, but you were just like really having a blast.
Just having a good time being the yellow-eyed demon. Yeah. I mean, my acting doesn't get too deep. So.
Your game was so believable.
Yeah, listen, when you see me, you go, oh man, that's such a good performance. How does he do that? And I'm basically trying to remember my lines. So when it looks like, man, there's a lot going on in his head. Yeah, it's me trying to go. You want to say? All right.
Thank you very much.
You bet, girl. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, Mitch. My name is Monica, and I'm from Seattle.
I'm on.
I've been watching you for a very long time, and you were just talking here about how lightly, or, you know, of your take on the yellow idea and everything. I want to take you back a little bit further to when you were in Shocker. That was that was the first time that my husband and I saw you, and I mean, it was just like, you were so creepy. How do you prepare for a role like that?
I just go crazy. I just, I had Wes Craven off camera, egging me on and telling me, he was throwing lines at me, and I'm like, oh God, Wes, oh no, you can't say that. He goes, yeah, you say it great. I just, I'm a ham. That's where it comes from. I'm a ham. So.
Serious. Very serious.
Yeah, but it was. I mean, some of it was, but some of it was tongue in cheek, and some of it was goofy. And Wes had a really corny sense of humor, and you can see it in a lot of his films. And I would tell that to his face, and he was still alive. He knows that. And I loved it to death.
And actually, can I say one more thing? Hollywood AD was one of our favorite episodes of X-Files.
Thank
It
you.
reminded us a lot of Hollywood Babylon. There seemed to be a lot of common.
Yeah, you know the scene where Taya asks Scully to how she runs in heels,
Yeah.
and in the background you see Scully running back and forth while Taya's on her phone. That was my wife running back and forth. My wife was Jillian's photo double on the show, and so a lot of the times you think you're looking at Jillian, you're looking at my wife. Because she did a lot of stuff. She did a lot of stuff in driving shots and vehicles. And I mean, I even did scenes. I even did scenes with Arlene when Jillian was shooting another scene or another episode, and I had a scene they needed to shoot because my wife's hair was done exactly, colored exactly like Jillian's, and so I mean there are episodes where if I'm talking to Scully and you just see her back, sometimes it's my wife. So, and it was funny. And then my wife became my secretary on the show. That's how this business works. You bet. But anyway, so it was hilarious with my wife sometimes. She'd come into a scene where, Skinner's being Skinner in his office, and she comes in and to tell me, give me a message or something like that, and I'd turn to her and she would just start laughing, and I'd go, what? She goes, that's just not you. And I go, yeah, but baby, you can't do that. Camera's rolling. This is film. We don't have the new stuff yet.
Hi, Mitch